Right, in the other class we had a quick look at how you can focus on using imitation to improve your speaking. So we're going to focus on this again today. If you saw the video the other day, you can skip through this to the next section. And if you haven't seen it, just follow this through for a couple of minutes here, a couple of seconds actually. So imitation is the key thing. We want to focus on that. We're going to listen to the following audio files. I've got 3 audio files here, or more than 3 files from different level samples, and there'll be a series of imitation ones coming up for part 1, 2, and 3. So we need to follow the pattern we've talked about in the previous videos, and this is the pattern now. So we want to listen carefully for a start. And we're going to check for any errors in our writing, and remember that those listening errors are also pronunciation errors most often. Then when we've got our errors correct, we want to notice things in how the speaker is describing things. So we're going to notice the pauses, and we're going to write down, note the pauses with 2 or 3 lines to indicate the length of the pause. And then the next good thing to do is to notice the stressed words. So native speakers are stress words. So see the person here stressing the awesome. So if you hear a word spoken very long, you should highlight that. The next thing to do is think about underlining weak and connected sounds. Again, native speakers often make sounds on either side of the stress word weak. So here it's an awesome place. So you can hear the weakness there. Then of course, once you've listened to it and noticed it, you need to imitate. And we've got the word exactly there because we want you to imitate it exactly. So notice the chunks that you've highlighted already, the stressed words, the connected words. Focus on that in a chunk and then focus on it in the whole passage. And then when you're finished, record yourself and check. Go back to the original speaker and see how your speaking looks compared to theirs. And you can listen and check and practice it again and again. So now let's focus on how we can imitate and by listening and then practicing pronunciation for part 1 questions. So what we're going to do here is listen to questions about hometowns. So you're going to hear 5 people talking about their home. What do you think were the questions? That's not so important. We're not going to focus and even give you the answers for that. The main thing is to focus on the rhythm and the speech. Who do you think has the best rhythm?
Speaker 1.
My hometown is a medium-sized market town. It's about 100 kilometres from the capital city. It's on a river and quite near the mountains. About 10,000 people live there. A lot of people from the town work in a sugar factory.
Speaker 2.
What I really like most about my village is the people. They're so friendly. Everyone knows everyone else, and that makes you feel very safe and comfortable.
Speaker 3.
The main thing I dislike is the traffic. It's getting worse every year. It's almost impossible to cross the road in the town centre during the day, and the parking is terrible. There aren't enough car parks, and people park all over the place.
Speaker 4. I think they'd find its old buildings very interesting. There's an ancient church with beautiful paintings on the walls inside. Visitors come from quite long distances to see those. Also, the town hall is very impressive. It's over 400 years old, and they still use it every day. Speaker 5.
The main improvement would be more sports and entertainment facilities. There's not much for young people to do, which means they have to catch the train to the nearest town if they want a good night out. We've got an old cinema and a couple of football pitches at the moment, that's all.
So the first speaker and the 5th speaker were not very good. The first speaker was very flat. Did you notice that? Not much rhythm. And the 5th speaker, on the other hand, was very fast. We've already practiced speaker 2. She was really good. That was in the last video, so if you haven't practiced that already, I would suggest you go back and practice that video because she was really good. She was the best speaker in my opinion. Now we're going to today practice listening for speakers 3 and 4. So speaker 3, so just listen and write what you think speaker 3 said.
Speaker 3.
The main thing I dislike is the traffic. It's getting worse every year. It's almost impossible to cross the road in the town centre during the day, and the parking is terrible. There aren't enough car parks, and people park all over the place.
And now you can check for your errors. Remember the speaker, well, this speaker was very angry, so there was lots of linking and nice, strong, negative words. It's getting worse. It's almost impossible. So, again, go through this and look for your mistakes. Your listening mistakes are quite often pronunciation mistakes as well. So now we need to listen again. We're going to pause for the chunks. We're going to notice stress words, then weak and connected sounds.
The main thing I dislike is the traffic. It's getting worse every year. It's almost impossible to cross the road in the town centre during the day, and the parking is terrible. There aren't enough car parks, and people park all over the place.
So you hear it here. The purple are the strong words, the stressed words. The upright lines are where the chunks happen, and the underlined are the weaker words. Again, we notice some really good, strong words. The parking is terrible. People park all over the place. Nice, strong words there. So now you need to listen and imitate. So when you're imitating again, go on the chunk level first and then try for the whole passage. So maybe you just go on the first between the upright lines. Practice that first. So for example, is the traffic? And then go for the whole phrase once you think you've got it right. And when you're finished, remember to record yourself and come back and check with that man. How do you compare to that man? Do you have good rhythm? Are you stressing words nicely and nice and long, strong sounds? So let's do the same thing for speaker 4. First of all, listen and write.
I think they'd find its old buildings very interesting. There's an ancient church with beautiful paintings on the walls inside. Visitors come from quite long distances to see those. Also, the town hall is very impressive. It's over 400 years old, and they still use it every day.
This is what the man said. Check your answers, check your errors, and then go for the pauses. Where are the chunks of speech? Where are the stress words? Where are the weak and connected sounds? And then imitate the chunks and then everything. So now let's do the same thing with jobs. For part 1. So you're going to hear 3 speakers now, A, B, and C. You can do this as you like. You can do one speaker and then come in a second. I'm going to show you what speaker A said and then speaker B and C, or you can do all 3 together. Up to you.
Speaker A. My name's Mark Davis, and my job is to find out what's going on and report it. The best thing about it is the excitement. I never know what story I'll be covering next, and no 2 days are ever the same. The only thing I don't like about it are the unsocial hours. If a major story breaks, I have to be there at any time of day or night. My ambition is to be a foreign correspondent with one of the big radio networks. Speaker B.
I'm Jennifer Simmons. I did an MBA at university, and nowadays I'm in charge of 12 people, selling mainly to manufacturing companies in the area. I particularly enjoy the responsibility and the good salary, but one drawback of working here is that there are limited prospects for further promotion. In the medium or long term, my aim is to work for a larger organisation, possibly in a different industry.
Speaker C.
My name's Christine, and for 5 months I've been working in the coastal waters off Antarctica, studying a species of algae. What makes the job so fascinating is that every day we're building knowledge about how the entire world's ecosystems work. To me, the downside to it is not the cold, I'm used to that, but the darkness in the winter months. When this job ends, I'll be looking for a permanent position in a marine biology department.
So this is what speaker A said. Again, check your answers. Follow the same pattern. Pauses, stress words, weak and connected sounds. I know this is repetitive, but it's the only way to improve your pronunciation. Okay, we're looking at different speakers talking about different things, so it's a good way to practice. Remember to imitate your chunks, and then everything, and then record yourself and come back and check. So do the same thing with speaker B. There's speaker B's answer. And then again, imitate. And finally, speaker C. Okay? Thank you. Good luck. The next video will be go away and practice that. Try, just practice as much as you can. we're going to do part 2 and then part 3 in the next few videos.